What are you talking about, Juan? It's such a strength to be the youngest person in the room and to be so capable like you.
UK as well.
You can girl everywhere. And so she's like, that is the one thing that is your job. And it's why it's so important to also put yourself in situations where you grow, right? At the end of the day, when you die, there's only the good that you live in the world.
Yeah. Welcome to the Human Presence, the show how to stay deeply human in the modern world. Today, I'm in New York City, Central Park, with my lovely guest Juan. And today we're gonna explore a multidimensional aspects of his identity. Juan is my dear friend, and we met 1 year ago in San Francisco on a coffee chat at Google, actually.
Hmm.
And super excited to show and present him to you guys.
Aw, thank you,
Why don't you
Victoria.
give you why don't you give a little bit more of background about yourself?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Juan Alba. I'm a 27-year-old living in New York City. As Victoria mentioned, I recently moved to New York from California, where I lived for basically my whole life. And it's been California, and it's been so crazy living here in New York City. There's so much I've been learning, and happy to unpack some of these learnings with y'all today.
Oh my gosh, I miss California so much.
I know, I know. Today she was telling me I miss
I
California.
really do. There
Yeah.
are some days,
Some days, some
some
days.
days.
Hmm.
You lived California almost your whole life, but you were growing
Yeah.
up in Colombia.
Yes, I did. I did. So I grew up in a small city called Bucaramanga until I was 10 years old.
Mm.
And then I moved to the United States to Sacramento with my mom, who married my stepdad, and have been living here since. So
Mhm.
yeah, there's like a lot of aspects to like my identity that I'm happy to like
Yeah.
talk about more today.
Yeah. Yeah, especially like as a Latino moving to different country, not knowing the language at the beginning
Hmm.
and being able to blend in so quickly, it must be like very tough, but also it shows that you are such a resilient person
Mm-hmm.
growing up in the different culture. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how was the experience for you?
Yeah, well, thank you. And also same to you coming all the way to the United States too from Poland.
I mean,
Um,
no,
so
from Ireland.
oh, from Ireland. Ireland and she is Polish.
UK as well.
UK, girl, everywhere, everywhere in Europe. But yeah, so moving to the US is definitely not something that was easy. When I came to the States, I didn't really like know the language. I didn't have a lot of Colombian community, especially in Sacramento, where there's just not a lot of Colombians back in the time.
Yeah.
And so, like coming here was really challenging, and I really had to work super hard to get to where I am today. Which is why, like, for me, giving back to like other underrepresented minority groups is something that's really, really important to me. I think it's been a journey for sure.
I can imagine, like, also being in this third culture person, that must be also teaching you many things about the building community, the human interaction, like being able to be open to other people and open to the world. So, what is like your main learning from all of the experience?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think like the biggest learning coming to the US and right, like started feeling when I was here that I really wasn't Colombian, but I also wasn't American, right? It's kind of like that weird middle intersection that a lot of people who are third culture people, and they identify with that.
Yeah.
So for me, like a big aha moment that I had as I grew older and I joined like another Latino club in college with a lot of other international like Latinos like me who came here when they were 10 years old, 14 years old, and then grew here, is I'm not 50-50. I am someone that's 100-100,
I love
right?
that.
And I think that having that mindset shift of
Yeah.
like, I'm not being taken away, I'm not smaller, but rather I can grow and be 100% something else is something that is really important. And so I had that big epiphany in my life, but truly like I do think that it's that like thinking that you're 100-100.
I love that. I love that actually. This is like such an interesting thing because like you don't kind of like separate yourself from all of that. You are one and you can
Mhm.
be one in any situation you are there,
Yes.
like with different people, and you can
Mhm.
feel 100% as Colombian, you can feel
Mhm.
100% as American, which is like
Mhm.
also gives more like courage and confidence to your
Mhm.
identity. And
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like I know that you explore a lot of things and you are very interested in the education.
Hmm.
And that's something like a core thing which led you during this like the whole process of moving and also like
Hmm.
building your persona, building your skills, building your career, etc.
Hmm.
Can you walk us through more about this education
Yeah.
aspect you have in
Yeah.
life?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, when I came to the US, I didn't know the language, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
So I had to really work super hard when I was in school.
Well,
And that's something that my mom and my family really instilled in me since I was young. And so she always told me, there's no other responsibility you have in life other than school. And so she's like, that is the one thing that is your job. And I think that really helped me, right, to become very disciplined
mhm,
in school. And so when I was in school, I worked super hard and that helped me, right, like get to better places. And I always started at the bottom. I always felt like I was always the dumbest kid, the one who, wasn't not the dumbest kid, but just like everyone else was smarter than me.
mhm.
And then I would
You
join
have to
these
keep up.
classes and then I'll be like, wait, no, I think I'm actually smarter and I work harder than everyone else.
Yeah.
And I kept climbing and climbing and climbing. And then I got into Berkeley. Then I got into Berkeley's Haas School of Business, which is like
Mhm.
one of the best undergraduate programs for business in the world. And then I got into Google. And so I think that's kind of the mindset that I've always had is education, really being disciplined and learning. And then like you're always gonna stand on top if you work hard, and you know where you come from.
What was this like northern star which kept you motivated during
Mm.
this process? Because like you can be disciplined, you can work hard, you can like like kind of trying to be better 1%
Mm.
every single day, but then you have to have some kind of goal and some kind of
Yes.
like way, okay, because I want to be this person, I want to be here or there,
Mm.
etc. So like what was like this thing which you kept in mind when you were like
Yeah.
studying and working hard? Like
Mhm.
what was this like
The
this
North
thing?
Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like that North Star is so important. It's like it goes back to like what your values are. And for me, it was positive social impact. So when I came to the US and as I mentioned, like I felt like I had such an opportunity to make it here. My only responsibility was school. And so for me, it was like I wanted to go to school and I wanted to build a platform so I can help other people
Mhm.
and so I can lift other people up along the way. And I think that mix that with school, right? It's like I would start doing like, for example, like small projects. And so like when I was in high school, I started a GoFundMe for kids
Wow.
in my city in Bucaramanga, and I bought them toys and art supplies.
I know this is like
Um,
your birthday ritual, right?
Yes, and then
Yeah.
now that I've gotten to Google, I don't fundraise anymore. I just save aside some money every
Yeah.
year and I buy backpacks for kids. And so for me, it's like I think that motivation to build myself up so I can help other people who are in need,
Yeah.
help those around me at work, help my friends, my family. That is what's kept me going,
Mm.
helped me find the success I have today.
So like this, not only keeping success for yourself, but also spreading it, and spreading joy, and spreading
Absolutely.
love, and sharing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it like always in you, like something your
Hmm.
parents passed you, or this was something you discovered along the way that that's how it is and that's how it works for
Mm,
you?
I think my parents did pass some of it, but I think it's discovered along the way. I always had this idea in mind about, I think it's into like spirituality too, of
Yeah.
like, at the end of the day, when you die, there's only the good that you live in the world,
Yeah.
right? Like that really matters, and how you make people feel, and
Yeah.
how, and that like positive aura that people think about you when they remember you.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's kind of what I always thought about is like I want to be someone that's remembered for being a good person. And I also believe that when you do good things come back. I'm a huge believer in karma, even in negative karma, positive karma. I believe it's not linear
Yeah.
either, right? Like what you do today
Yeah.
can come back in 10 years. It can
Yes.
come back in 15 years, but it'll always come back
Different
to the same
stories.
amount.
Yeah.
But I think the thing about negative karma is it'll come back equally. But I think when you do positive karma, it comes out bigger and bigger and better.
Wow, I think that
Hmm.
we talked about it the other day about like karma and the whole circle and like the spiritual aspect
Yeah.
of that. And do you think that getting to like the better schools and Google, like that was like your positive karma, which kind of
Hmm.
made a circle to back to your life?
Yes, I think so. I think so. I think I'm in a spot where I'm really happy.
Mm.
I love my job. I love what I do. I love the people that I'm with. I love the people, the impact that it has on people. And I 100% think so. And I think there's even bigger things that are out
Yeah.
there for me if I continue building on this. And so the idea is not as much like, okay, like what's the next thing, but like, what am I going to do to help other people? So then one day I can get to the next thing and then keep building and building and building. It's kind of empire of
Yeah.
positive
Yeah.
impact.
Building wealth.
Yeah.
Um, Tell me more about how you end up at Google. Like, have you always dreamt
Mm.
of working in tech someday when you were studying so hard? At uni? You were
Yes,
like,
yes.
oh, this company, one day. Or does it was something like the serendipities and other like
Mm.
coincidences which happened, which led you to this way?
Yes, that's a good question. I think everyone says something different for this, right?
Everyone,
Obviously, it's like, wow, how do we get here?
yeah.
So for me, I didn't always wanted to work in tech. When I
Wow.
was when I came to the US, I really wanted to be a food scientist, actually.
Wow.
I didn't have a lot of access to Colombian food, so I had to learn how to like use Filipino ingredients, Mexican ingredients to make the same Colombian dishes. And so I went to Berkeley as a nutritional sciences major, and I wanted to study food science for the longest
Wow.
time. So I did
Fun fact.
pre-med. Yes, exactly. Pre-med. I was literally like in organic chemistry, but I just felt like it was a little slow for me. And I found that I'm someone that's extroverted and that I love talking to
You
people.
are.
And so that's when I decided, I could start, business as a good way for incorporating like food and also impact. And when I was even in Berkeley, I was in entertainment at Warner Brothers. I interned doing movie marketing. I did
Wow.
biotechnology, coffee roasting technology.
What?
And what I found is like those things, what is the biggest overlap?
Yeah.
It's impact. It's
Impact.
positive impact. And I think that's what led me to tech is that impact that you can see on people at a larger scale globally, the reach that it has, it's incredible. So that's how I got here.
Wow, that's such an interesting journey, like
Mhm.
science of coffee roasting. That got me
Yes,
the
I
most.
know. It was really technical.
Like, what?
Coffee roasting, exactly. Very random
Very
lores
random.
that I did.
Very
My side
random.
quests.
Do you think like the food is also part of your passion?
Oh, yes. Yes, I think so. I
Yeah.
love food. I've always wanted to explore like food. I love cooking for my friends. It's something that I get to do a little bit here in New York City. Um, and yeah, I mean, I want to explore it more, honestly. So if you have any recommendations for
Oh, you are not asking the right person. I just moved here. But I can get you some. I can get
Okay,
you some.
of course. She always has a plug for something.
No, that's super interesting because like it also like gives you this identity of being multidimensional, right? Like it's not only tech, it's not only Google, but there are like so many other aspects which led
Oh,
you
yeah.
along this way, and also like being different in certain rooms. Like that's also a big advantage to have and to show the different perspective to other people.
Mhm.
So I feel like this is so interesting to foster that. And how do you still stay authentic in all of it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think authenticity is so important, right? Like, because I hate being that person that puts on a fake front. And I
Welcome
think
to America.
I know. I feel like in America, yeah. And I remember I have so many friends like Victoria that come from Europe, and they're like, "Whoa, it can feel inauthentic in certain
Inauthentic,
spaces,
yeah.
right? It's like you can't really be yourself." And I think I've always been very positive, right? And I like that about me. But I think I've always also just been transparent with people. If I'm not having a good day, you can notice. Like it's so hard for me to hide it.
Yeah.
I think obviously when it comes to work, it's really important to know who you trust, right? Like it's really important to know who you tell things to. But as long as you're like, I'm just like positive, and also like I've always been proud of myself and I know the values that I bring to the table and the skills that I can bring. And I know I'm very capable. And so I've never shied away from like being myself because of that, because I know I'm capable.
Yeah, exactly. And that's also like it's very interesting because not everyone has that part.
Mhm.
They want to be authentic, but they don't feel like this is something they are allowed to be
Mhm.
in a workplace, in a friends group, in a community, right? Like they need to blend in. And how did you like build this confidence around you? Is it because of the successful things you've done in life, and then it kind of built you up, or
Hmm.
is something you always had in yourself? Like, how can you
Yeah.
inspire other people who are struggling with that?
Yes. I mean, that's really hard because I think, especially when you're in corporate world, there's going to be so many different types of people that you interact with and certain dynamics, right, that are there. Um, I always remember why I got to this place, right? Like
Mhm.
somebody made that decision to put me on the seat, and I'm gonna like work as hard as I can to like prove that. Always knowing where I came from. There's been so many instances in my life, like as being an immigrant, as being Latino, as being gay, as being, there's so many things about me where I have been doubted or have been othered by other people
Mm.
where I overcame it. And then I was like, I'm I'm smarter than some of these people here. Like, why am I doubting myself? And I saw
Yeah.
it ever since I came to the US, and I felt like there's other smart people in the class, and I always climbed and climbed and climbed. And then I've got to me to where I am. So I literally don't let those things affect me anymore.
So that's your advantage, like being
Yes,
Latino,
exactly.
being gay, being different. Like that's something which you feel like, oh, that's actually unique.
It's unique,
Yeah.
exactly. And even I remember there's like one team that I joined at Google where everyone was like a little bit older than me. And I felt really intimidated by that. Just being Gen Z, I was 25, and I was crushing it. I was doing super well. And I remember talking to one of my managers and being like, "Hey, like I feel really intimidated. I feel like I can't really share
Mhm.
things." And then he's like, "What are you talking about, Juan? It's such a strength to be the youngest person in the room and to be so capable like you." And that's just like an example of like a mentor that like really helped me see things in a different way. And I started speaking up, and then got promoted quick after that.
Congrats.
Period. Yeah.
Yeah, but like not everyone has that privilege to have those people around them, right?
Yes,
Like being
yes, yes.
having the people who empower you is such a privilege, and having this mentorship, it's amazing thing that someone believes in you, sometimes more than you believe in yourself. But
Yes.
first you need to show the world, like to believe in yourself and show the world that actually, oh, I'm capable, because no one would believe in you before you won't believe in yourself.
Yes, yes.
So you had like this belief somewhere along the way, right? Like you were like, okay, even though I'm unique, even though maybe I'm like the youngest in the room, I am still capable because I am me.
Yes.
So how did you build all of that? Like,
Yeah.
getting there even.
Yeah. It starts with a positive impact. At the core, what is it that you're fighting for in life? Always bringing that back to that impact
The impact.
makes me feel like I'm just like I'm deserving of this place. Every position I've gotten, I'm deserving of it. Why? Because I know I'm going to do something good about it. And I know that I'm also more capable than other people, and I can use my power for good.
How do you know that you're capable?
I know that I'm capable because there's been instances in my life where I felt like I wasn't capable, and I realized I actually was the most capable, and it's happened over and over and over and over again.
I love that.
And it's why it's so important to also put yourself in situations where you grow, right? Where
Exactly.
there's people that are smarter than you, where there's people that you feel like are just like incredible,
Mhm.
and you learn from them, but then you actually learned maybe I could do this even better,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Wow.
mm-hmm.
I love that. You're like such an interesting, like you kind of see things from such an interesting angle. And also like right now, like being in the age of AI as Gen Z,
Yes, yes.
at Google, like it's also for sure like interesting, challenging at the same time, right?
Yes.
What kind of advice would you give to people who would like to enter the workplace in the age of AI, but also like in tech right now, who
Yeah.
are maybe studying or thinking to change their careers, or like kind of thinking to do something else in life?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. AI is something we talk about so much, right? It's
Always.
it's literally like such important part of society now. I think there's $1 trillion in investments for AI.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. I think what's important here when it comes to AI, I know there's going to be so many like discourse around if AI is good, if AI is bad, what are the consequences, and it's important to understand those. But it's also really important to acknowledge that society is going to adopt AI, whether we like it or not. It's part of human evolution, just how we had fire, just how we had cars come out instead of horse carriages, just how we had electricity come out. I think AI is the next wave. And so we need to be embracing of that because it's not going to go away. It's literally only going to get more evolved and more smart. But it's important to understand like how can we be ethical with AI? How can we make sure it's serving the right people and it's learning from the right places? And then also think about what is the benefits that it's had in society. And there's a lot of research that's come out on like DNA, for example. It speeds up DNA research. It helps with wildfire detection. It helps with scanning for diabetic retinopathy, people who are going blind. And so these are examples of things that is positive. And how can we make that even bigger, right? Like focus on the positive, on the things that are getting better. And also minimizing obviously the negatives with like being more ethical.
Well, Juan, last question to you. I know that you had a very interesting like life trajectory, and I know that it's only like you're only 27, right? So it's gonna be so much more. But like today, like thinking about what would you say to your younger self? What would like you to hear from your younger self right now?
Oh,
Questions.
oh, that's so nice. So, what would I tell my younger self,
Yes.
and what would I like to hear
From your younger self right now.
from my younger self? Wow. Okay, that's a spin. I love it. Okay. I would say what I would tell my younger self is there's so many people out there in the world that are incredible, that can bring so much knowledge and care and support to you, and you just have to go find them, go talk to them, right? So when I was younger, I was definitely more timid. Growing up, I was just like kind of like more of the overweight kid. I was always like more a nerdy kid, and so I always felt a little bit more insecure. But I think now that as I've gotten older, I've really embraced who I am. I think, and I've always been very extroverted. It's like, why did I miss out on the opportunity to meet people and learn new things and really focus on the education that we talked about earlier, to meet new people? And so I would tell my younger self, go out there and meet people and don't be scared to talk to strangers. That's the first thing.
Aw.
Yes.
So yeah, educate yourself.
Educate yourself, literally. But then I think like what my younger self would tell me, I think my younger self would tell me to be more present. I think I've always been so future thinking. Little AI. I've always just been so focused on my goals and what I want to do next. And it's so important to just enjoy the present. I actually recently went on a trip to El Salvador with my boyfriend, and we had a great time. And it was awesome trip because I got to really experience being present and just saying yes to new things. So like taking adventures, just really taking the path that you would least think, right? Like go into I was surfing. It was crazy. So it was just such a fun trip. But I think like staying present by saying yes and like knowing what's your end goal, but like it doesn't matter how you get there and just enjoy the ride. So I think that's kind of my parting words to myself and to everyone here.
Wow, I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing all of
course.
that. This is so amazing to hear, like your story and your learnings and your insights on the whole aspects of your personality and how to stay deeply human in the modern world.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you so much, Juan.
Period. Thank you, Victoria. I love you.